Hello, everybody. This is a follow up to the first video I posted last week before we got all of the direction that just came out today. So, I'm going to do my best to walk all of my kids and their parents through what this will look like coming from me. And for most of you, I have you for English as well as for social studies. So, it should work fine for the kids who are just with me for social studies. It won't be as heavy of a workload. It's not a heavy of a workload, anyways, but the priority going forward is literacy skills. And to be honest with you, every course is literacy based, even mathematics. Um, so your social studies will be there really to help you, yes, understand the concepts, but to help you with that literacy principle, to help you with your language learning uh, and your acquisition of those critical thinking and writing skills. Let's walk through it step by step and sort of put everyone's mind at ease. I'm just so happy to get to talk to you guys again, to tell you the truth, and put together something that will hopefully be helpful for you in this time of uncertainty. Okay, so the first thing I want to address today is technology usage. Now, if you're watching this video, the chances are you have technology, but if you don't have access to technology that would support your learning, meaning if you couldn't type or if you couldn't um, respond to me with technology, please let me know and please send that message to your classmates if possible. There's about 7 kids I haven't heard from at all, or their parents, and I'm gonna just make some calls from home, although I think a few of the kids who I haven't heard from actually do have access to technology. So yeah, that's what we need to find out. Every teacher is responsible for doing that for their homeroom. So that's only for 8-1 in my case because they're my homeroom. Um, yeah, so that's part one. I have an Olaf mug for you. Okay. It's just like we're at class or at school. The second piece is communication. So teachers are going to be having office hours. That might sound like a different kind of term. I'm quite used to it because that's what professors have in university. So office hours are a designated slot of time where that teacher or that professor is available to you for that instant communication. Um, like you guys know, I'm home with my daughter, with Veronica. So my plan for office hours is going to be between 4 and 5 Monday to Friday. That means if you want to talk to me on the phone quickly, if you want to have some more instant communication, perhaps you just want to check in and see how life is going, we can certainly make that happen for you. But yeah, sort of having that time for your parents as well. If they want to talk to me on the phone, we will certainly do that. And I would call you, and I would just use my phone, but I would just block the number because that's what they're asking us to do. So I can do that to talk to you, which will be nice, I think. I also thought, because I am using YouTube, I think you can go live. I think. And if we had enough people with access to technology, that might be okay too. Maybe once a week we could do that, and you could write things you want me to talk about, and we could make it more of a community that way. I know some educators have been using all of these new technologies that have become quite popular as this situation has unfolded. Like Zoom, I know is really popular, but I can't see us adapting that anytime soon into your curriculum. I know that there are some privacy things, and I've done my reading, and I just don't think it's appropriate at this time. So the only one on video will be me, and then we can correspond on the phone if you like, or yeah, through those lives. That might be fun. The next piece there is how much school. So this is a crazy time, and the reason we're coming to you with curriculum and things we're going to be working on, and building those literacy skills is not to cause you any kind of panic. I believe it's the exact opposite. I think it's to give you that routine and to help you close that gap between home and school, because it's hard to be away from school. I was saying this to my dad today, but even when I want a break, I only ever want a couple of days. Anything longer than 3 or 4 days, and that's enough. I'm ready to go back to work or back to school. In your case, I was the same way even when I was a student. And I think a lot of you are really feeling that. I've been reading the comments in Google Classroom, and I've been responding to you as often as I can. But not having that routine, not having that interaction with your peers and with your teacher, it's really hard. So that's what this is designed to do. The learning is the bonus, the icing on the cake. I've already gotten a number of messages from students telling me that they've been doing lots of reading and that they've been practicing their writing every day. So my task this week is sort of to think about if we have to condense some things, or if there's some things that I won't get to this year for you, what are the most important? What are the crucial elements that are going to help my 8s move into grade 9 next year, and what are going to help my one class of 7s come to me next year in grade 8? So they're at a bit of an advantage because they'll have me next year, but my 8s won't. My 8s are going to Millwood. So I'm going to do everything I can to help you be ready for that transition. And we will use technology as best as we can. You know that I prefer to handwrite when possible, and if I were going to give you some advice before we assign anything or move forward, it would be to practice writing by hand if you can, a little bit, because we don't want that skill to sort of fall away. I know that you can type, I know that you can communicate on your devices on a regular basis, but making sure we're taking time with our letters. This might be a good time to figure out your signature. I would love to see what those look like, and taking your time to write by hand. Reading, of course, is key. My suggestion would be to read things that aren't about the coronavirus, to spend some time listening to music, things that aren't so traumatic at this time. I know it's hard for me. I limit my news intake to 15 minutes a day, and that's it. That's all I do. But yeah, and then so that's for English, which the focus is literacy. So English is obviously going to be the bulk of what we're working with, but we can address social studies topics through that. I will still be assigning work for social studies, but know that the key that is the literacy piece. And what I want for you is to be able to understand that story of social studies so that you have that base of knowledge for next year. So my grade 7s who are in, I think we're just about to start the 1900s in grade 7, and my 8s are just about to start the 1950s and 60s and move into the Cold War. So what's important there is following that narrative, following that story of world history, and being able to sort of catalog and interpret that knowledge so that you have that base, that awareness of the world. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to do it distance, and it's going to be fine. And I've got you. You guys know that I do. And hopefully by May, we are going to be in a much different venue, experiencing school in a much different way. One of my students mentioned that it will be very strange going back to the classroom after all of this. But as someone who spends a lot of time with all of you, I know that you're ready and you'll be fine to go back to the classroom when we get to. So that's my spiel right now. In the next coming days, you are going to see where we're going to go next in English. And I'm just working on that with Mr. Crew right now. I think we're actually going to do The Outsiders because it is so accessible and easy to do from home. The entire novel is on YouTube, and we'll find some good recordings, and we can do it all virtual. It's also quite nostalgic, and I know a lot of your parents have read it or your siblings, and I think that that's the right move. I was going to save it for June, but I think that is it's what's going to be helpful for you right now. And again, in social studies, we're just going to keep weaving through that narrative, but the focus will be English, the focus will be literacy. And that's it. All right. You guys have a great day, and you'll hear from me very soon. Bye, class.